Hello and welcome to a Crannog story in 10 objects. In this short series we're going to take you on a journey through our collections of Iron Age artefacts which are 2,500 years old. You're joining us for the fourth instalment of our short series, A Crannog Story in 10 Objects, which explores the 2,500-year-old collections of the Scottish Crannog Centre. Last week we looked at a foot plough, and we stick with the farming theme for this week's object, a quern-stone formed of mica schist with garnet. Our collections mainly relate to an early Iron Age crannog here on Loch Tay in Highland Perthshire. The loch is surrounded by large hills, including the Ben Lawes range. The lower level land surrounding the loch is fertile, and this is where crops were grown, quite possibly on a communal farm that was shared by several crannog communities. We know the people grew barley, spelt wheat and emmer wheat, and there is also evidence that other crops, such as flax and even opium poppy, were utilised. Wild oats were a crop contaminant, but nevertheless these were gathered, along with a range of other edible weeds, berries and nuts. When the wheat and barley were ready for harvesting, they were cut close to the ground, possibly with a sickle, and stored inside the crannog. When a small quantity of grain was needed for food, it was sieved and the weeds were picked out. To grind your grain into flour, place it on a flat stone called a saddle quern and grind with a smaller stone, which is sometimes called a rider. Roasting or drying the grain beforehand does make this process much easier. With constant use, a shallow hollow can form in the saddle quern, and it is possible that prehistoric bread was quite gritty due to these tiny loosened fragments. Saddle querns were used from the Neolithic period until around 200 BC, when rotary querns were developed. Flour could be produced more easily and quickly with a rotary quern. Quernstones are sometimes found as ritual deposits, and we wonder whether this saddle quern was accidentally lost on the crannog or deliberately positioned.